Hello, you beautiful people, and welcome back to the 15th episode of the West Ham Save. This is a big one as we are having a top of the table clash and hoping to progress in the Cups. But I started today on the shortlist because we've still had ups and downs, but it's so clear what our issue is right now. And it all stems from our attack, which was great last season, but recently it's felt so inconsistent. So I am thinking maybe in signing some new players. We had a meeting with the board who not only have given us a brand new contract which takes us until 2028, I believe. I'll have to check that. They've also said, do you want a bigger wage budget? Obviously, I snapped the hands off at both. So I'm looking at players like this young man here, Myron Van Brederode, and obviously he's had a great season this year, was very good at Erta last season. Yes, this is for the second team of AZ Alkmaar, but even for the first team this season, he's had 3 appearances, 7.17 ratings with an assist. He clearly is a very exciting, very talented left winger who maybe fits our newer tactics a little bit better. Speaking of newer tactics, this is the squad that we're going to be using to face Manchester City, who are currently top of the table. And as you'll see, there's no more number 10. Scott McSauce has moved into a box-to-box midfield role, so he's still going to be getting involved in the attack, but he's going to have a little bit more help on defense as well, because there's one thing we've been struggling with as of late. It's getting caught out at the back and then not having any offense to kind of go with it, which I'll be honest with you guys, it's not been extremely fun to watch us be dismantled as easily as we have been. That means Mohamed Kudus has moved to left wing. The reason being, Saeed Benrahma is on a 6.38 average rating over the last 5 games. Maxwell Cornet 7.32, he's playing pretty well. Yeremy Doku 6.8. We did have a little word with him to say he needs to fetch his ideas up, but it's hard because he can barely even get into the games as of late. So, what you guys have missed, we left off at the 1-0 loss to Napoli. We went on to beat Leicester City 6-0. A late goal from Scott McSauce was certainly the icing on the cake, but a double from Tadipo and one from Aguirre. We were scoring mostly from set pieces. 4 of those 6 were free kicks and corner kicks. Open play goals still not quite coming together. We would then lose 1-0 to Arsenal thanks to a Bukayo Saka goal, and this is around where I thought, yeah, something needs to change, because in the Premier League we had won 2, lost 2. We were also losing in the Champions League, and we were about to come against Bayern Munich, and I thought, this is going to be it. We're going to lose 4 out of 6 games, or you could count it as 4 out of 7, but somehow, some way, we would actually come away with a 3-1 win, helped by Manuel Neuer picking up an injury, but that came long after a Scott McTominay opener. This was our first game in the 4-3-3, and I'd be lying if I didn't say that Scott McSauce scoring gave me a lot of confidence. But yet we move into the game against Manchester City now. They are currently top of the table with a game in hand on us, and us and Aston Villa have a game in hand on them. But even if we were to win this game, we would still be 2 points off of City. Villa, though, may well leapfrog to the top of the table. Our goal difference still the best in the entire country. And as for the Champions League, we are in 10th place, doing very well. There's definitely, as we now go into our 2 easiest games in the Champions League with Marseille and Karabakh, I feel like it's pretty fair to say we could sneak our way into this top 8 position, which is all we really need. If we finish in the playoffs, things could go horribly wrong. We get into this top 8, round of 16 immediately. It's something you've got to be proud of. We will also be facing Crystal Palace in the Carabao Cup quarter-finals. Not only is it fun to face a team who maybe we will actually beat for once, it's also we didn't win anything last season. We need to start winning, and I think now is as good a time as any. So for the Bayern Munich game, we did have an injury to João Mario, so Vladimir Sufal will continue to start. The only other issue we've had in the squad before we quickly dive into things has been the dynamics. It's getting better as we beat Bayern Munich, of course, but 6 players unhappy at the squad. We, of course, talked about players like James Ward-Prowse fuming with us. We also had complaints with McTominay and Mavropanos, and then I decided let's try and make things a little bit happier. Had a team meeting saying, guys, everything's going amazingly, and I thought they'd be happy. We expected top half, we're in top 4. We said, shut your mouth. Very offended by that, don't quite know what we did wrong. And we're getting fuming off us. What do you want me to do? This what I can't win. Shut up, Cheehan. Can't win. Cheehan hates me, and I don't know. So the Manchester City team, I'd like to see it. Patson Daka starts over Abraham, who's having a pretty rough couple of games. So I thought, let's give Daka a chance. As for City, it is exactly what you'd think. Calvin Phillips down in the number 10 role, Rico Lewis at right back. Whether that is an injury to Rodri or just simply Pep has finally decided he liked Calvin Phillips. Besides that though, pretty much an unchanged squad. You could have seen this very much happen this season. You know, when Rodri was suspended, this team absolutely could have came out and played. So that's fun. We're facing a genuinely full strength City side at the top of the table, and immediately McTominay is just putting his body in there, making sure people know who he is, and it's a lovely through ball to Ward-Prowse. How that's not in, or at least forcing a save from Edison, I don't know. That was the chance there. Very frustrating to not at least have an early lead where we can try and maybe cause some problems. But this 4-3-3 looks like it's working well. Beat Bayern 3-1. If we can put some pressure, not even beat, but just put some pressure on City. As Daka scores an offside goal, McTominay's passing range has grown by the week. Being able to play a little bit deeper means he has a bit clearer view of what's going on ahead of him. So maybe McTominay, he obviously didn't play much for the first sort of run of this season. Now's his chance to really break back into the first team, similar to how he did last season, where he came off the bench, became an undisputed starter, one of the first names on the team sheet, as here is Ait Nouri on this left hand side. Pulls it across. Daka couldn't quite get there ahead of Ruben Diaz, who did very well defending that, and now it's Phil Foden on the counter attack. We cannot concede a goal the same way we're trying to score them. Completely demoralises the squad as Bernardo's through, and a great save by Trubin. First save we've really seen of him his entire West Ham career. No better time to do it than then, as we head away from that corner kick. So far the team's looking pretty even, both sides having good chances on goal. We of course have that one disallowed. Ruben Diaz is playing libero from the right side of centre back role. Interesting. That's all I have to say to that. It is interesting. Maybe we can put some pressure on Ruben Diaz, try and force a mistake at their backline. Daka not having his greatest game. Bowen has been amazing for us, but he is someone, as we spoke about before, who will take a back seat in games for a little while and then just pop up at the last moment. I'd like for him to be able to take a full, even just like 60 minutes of the game and really put us in control. The Sufal calmly headers it back to Trubin. He is now on the transfer list because he's frustrated me too much. He has too much sway over this team, I think he's the longest serving member of this squad. It's Bowen finds Patson Daka back into Sufal. Bowen on this right hand side. Pull this into the middle. Finds Sufal, who finds McTominay just wide. McTominay, he is such a threat. I don't think anyone thought when we brought him in on loan last season that he would be quite as good as he has become for us. I think we're going to have to make some changes though. 63 minutes in, still nothing to break the deadlock. Bowen on this right hand side. Let's see some fancy skills. Plays it short toward Prowse. That's a beautiful touch to take away from the defenders. Beats all three before laying off to Edson Alvarez. Now it's Ait Nori's chance to try and create something. Holds up play, brought down. I think that's going to be a free kick. But still, well, let's just take a little second to see quite what's going on here. Checking the penalty review. And it is a free kick. That is gutting. That could have been a big chance for us. And we don't even get to see the free kick. So Patton Daka is going to come off for Tammy Abraham. And Ben Rama is not in the squad. There he is. So Ben Rama and Abraham back into the side. A more traditional front three that we've been used to. But we're going to bring Marcus Edwards on for Bowen. Who's just, as we said, he just can't quite get into the game enough. Still nothing changing. I'm going to risk it. Joao Mario into the side for these last few minutes and Thomas Souček into that box to box role to maybe just offer some fresh legs in such a draining position. He could be a vital part to winning the midfield battle, who have just subbed on Mateo Kovacic. Anything coming from this, or is it going to be a 0-0 draw, which I think we'll all be very happy with? It will in the end be a 0-0 draw, but a game where we had the best of it. We can come out of that happy with the draw, frustrated we didn't get the win. A few days ago, I would have came into this game praying we didn't lose by more than 5. So the team certainly has adapted and is a big fan of our new 4-3-3 formation. Very happy with that result, and we'll come after the Palace game, which will hopefully be a lot more offensively minded, and it will also give us a chance to see some of the younger players and some of the people who maybe you don't see much in our showcase games. That's the plan at least, so you can get an idea of what some of the guys who sit on our bench actually look like. As for the squad, we've changed quite a lot. An entirely new back four, though Soufal was in the game against City. Amadozic, Mavropanos and Emerson are back in the lineup. Edson Alvarez does continue to play, or actually, is Flynn Downs fit? He's ineligible as he's in the under-21s. Hackney, McTominay, Cornet, Abraham back in the squad with Edwards on that right-hand side. It's a very strong squad still. I think we're more than good enough to win. I do worry, obviously Palace are still a Premier League level squad, so you've got to think with their full squad, which is Dean Henderson, Kenny Dete, Rob Holden, Chris Richards, Tyler Mitchell, with a midfield double of Decore and Lerma, Danny Morta, Eze, Huard and Janssen all lead the line. It's great to see Vincent Janssen back in English football, though I don't think he's going to be too much of a threat. I did forget to mention David De Gea is officially leaving. We will talk about where he's going once this game's over. But yeah, we have signed and sealed a transfer for about £7 million. I was gutted to let him go, but it made sense that he did want some first team football. I couldn't really offer him that, and I did want Struben to play basically every game this season because Abraham's miles offside there. A really lovely pass by Edwards. Because he's so young and he has so much to develop, if I can get him, a full season's worth of football, all that's going to do is just help him become better and better, get some composure, get used to this style of football. Then next season we will start to reuse cup goalkeepers, but it means that in January I will be looking for a new backup goalkeeper, as I don't want to use Alex Smithies all too much. Edwards finds Cornet, who lets the ball roll to Emerson, and the Italian forces a great save out of Dean Henderson. And now it is Edwards once more. And I think I do need to cough again. Just give me a little second. Sorry about that. So, not much happening. We're happy with that 0-0 draw against Manchester City. I do not want it to happen again. It's a good chance here for Hayden Hackney, who has impressed a lot actually. Fans McTominay, good save. It's great to have Hackney in this squad, of course. We signed in January last season, went back on loan to Middlesbrough. But yeah, he has popped up. He hasn't played all too much, played a bit less than I'd want to. But when he started, or even some of the times coming off the bench, he has had a big effect on our squad. But yeah, the offense, it's just not clicking right now, is it? Oh, and Soufal has picked up a big injury here and needs to immediately be substituted off. We do strengthen our team with João Mario back in the side, but that's not what I needed, as I don't actually have a backup right back. Once Soufal's injured, it is Mavropanos or even Todibo who's slotted in when needed. Emerson now on the ball finds Edson Alvarez. We are stronger for losing Soufal for this game, but it means that we're going to have to be very conservative with João Mario. Try and make sure that he can get through as many games as possible. And as I says, Hayden Hackney pops up when you need him. It's an assist from Marcus Edwards, who is having a better season this year than he did last season. And that is lovely. It's exactly on. Hackney finds Edwards, who races down the right hand side, pulls it back, and it is all too easy. He slams it, and Henderson cannot get a proper stop, and it just touched it as it sailed right on by. I think we all knew, looking at Hackney, that this guy has potential. I don't know if you all, I personally thought this is a guy who can go on to become our starter. I don't know if maybe you thought that this was a guy who's going to be a perpetual backup. I'm so glad he's kind of proven me right, though, that he was worth signing. As Marcus Edwards, he also continues to prove his worth. He was a big money signing. Hasn't been able to start as much as we'd want with Bowen, but now gets a goal to partner his assist. And again, a lot of this starts with Hackney finding Edwards. A nice one too with João Mario, as Edwards tracks behind the fullback. It's a big deflection, but it doesn't matter as long as it hits the net. So we need to make a couple last changes here before this game becomes a bit of an injury risk. So I'm going to bring in Souček and Ward-Prowse. Ward-Prowse to play the box-to-box midfield role. Souček to play the defensive midfielder role. Makes us a little bit stronger, at least in my opinion, with Ward-Prowse back on the squad, but it also just stops a couple of very key players having any risk of injury, and injury control and game management is so important in FM24, where I do see on Twitter and a few other places a lot of injury problems for teams this year. Is it Omar Richards they're playing? It looks like a battery. Vincent Janssen through. A good save by Truben. No, it'll actually be a goal kick. And he's on a 6.2 rating. Yeah, it's great to see him back, but because he is very funny, not because of his individual quality. As Patton Daka and I'm going to bring Cornet off for Kudish come into the squad. Tammy really not performing, is still wandered over in Saudi Arabia, and I'll be lying if I said I was not at least looking at the possibility of moving him on, as he hasn't hit the form like we wanted to. João Mario nearly scores there from that set piece. Yeah, he's just not hit the marks we thought he would. He's had a pretty decent run of form and now just really fell off the pace again. He's not really getting chances. And that's the thing, is like, if he was missing sitters, I feel like, okay, they're going to change. He's got the movement. But yeah, he's not finding anything. The squad as a whole feels stronger without him. What a chance there from James Ward-Prowse. Yeah, the squad's strengths feel like they lie in the midfield and the wide areas. That central striker and the left wing roles is certainly our weakest points. It's Marcus Edwards again. It's a good save there by Dean Henderson. And now looks like this game is coming to a close, but there's one last highlight, starting with Crystal Palace. Janssen in looking for Lerma. We cannot keep our clean sheet. 2-1 this game ends, but we are through. to the semi-finals of the Carabao Cup, where we got last season, before we, of course, were knocked out by Manchester United. I was trying to think of a cool word. It begins with IG. I can't think of what the real word is, but it begins with IG. Can you guys come up with it for me? Ingloriously? Maybe. Let's see what the injury to Soufal is, though. Because unless we have a really decent youngster, we might be about to go into a month or two's worth of football with one right back. And no Ben Johnson, at least not yet. I'd love to have Benny Boy back. He's getting on very well on loan. We win. Man United have won the last two. Manchester City, Portsmouth and Liverpool are the options. If we could get Portsmouth, we are through to the finals. Come on now. He's out for 3 weeks. There are worse injuries to have. But as you can see, Mavropanos is our only real backup. Souček's out suspended for the next game. In the development centre, our backup right back is... does he even exist? Junior Robinson, who's not even on contract. It's not the worst player in the world. Anyone else? Haruna Njoku? I think we should offer Junior Robinson a new contract. Maybe try and sell him, get a little bit of money for him if he wants like no money at all. Yeah, there we go, 2-year deal. But that will be all for today. Thank you all for watching. We have a pretty decent run of form there. If we can get Portsmouth, maybe a Carabao Cup win can finally come our way. Thank you all for watching. Please like and subscribe if you can, if you enjoyed the episode. And remember, have a great day. Up the Hammers.